let's go into this reading here. One of the first two cards that I got out here is the Lovers as well as the Justice card. Both of these things indicate to me some type of a contract between two people, be it in business or in, love relationships. What I'm sensing here is this is more of a business vibe to me, and it indicates some sort of an agreement between you and another person. So some sort of possibly assets being transferred between two parties, and they're going to have to reach an agreement. I do feel that the other person that you're involved with, they're kind of skittish. Like they're not really sure they want to sign yet. It's not that they don't want to sign, but I do feel that they have a lot on their plate that they're trying to consider or reconsider, and as a result of it, they're not really sure how to proceed forward. I feel that for a lot of you, you might be dealing with an air sign. I'm getting, the card of Gemini, the card of Libras here. So there's a lot of discussions had about, taking a relationship to the next level, or at least like a discussion with a partner, business or romance, where both parties have to decide on, the roles that are undertaken by both parties. So you're trying to find a way to mediate with one another, and you're trying to find a way to, I guess, like allocate or even delegate responsibilities. Who's supposed to be doing what? And, how are both parties able to, I guess, like match up their responsibilities in a way where they both can work together as a unit. I do see a lot of cooperation coming through between you and institutions. So, in the past, if you have been pushing for a specific outcome and people weren't doing their job, or they weren't where they're supposed to be, I do see a more of a smooth sailing type of energy coming through for this month, in which transactions are very fair, are very I guess transparent, and there's a lot of a great deal of mutual trust, mutual respect, and mutual rapport between two people that can make the situation be streamlined and to move forward in a harmonious manner. The second cluster that is that's coming up here is we have the Queen of Swords and the Three of Swords. The Queen of Swords is an air sign. This is an Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And I do feel this is an energy representing another person. A lot of you might have this person in your midst, and there's talks about, trips, travels taken. There is talks about separation as well. So this can be, they're temporarily out of the picture, and there's going to be some type of either a reunion coming through where you are bridging the distance between you and this person. What I'm also feeling as well is this is also a card about consulting, okay? You might be in a position where you are seeing a financial consultant, a therapist, or even some type of a professional, like medical professional, in order to, talk about surgery, in order to talk about even hospital visits. Physical therapy does come up to me very strongly. The Queen of Swords, in this regard, I do feel it's more of a professional that is giving you some type of solid advice in order to help a situation. So they're not hindering your progress. They're here to help you with the situation, how to improve, streamline, something that you're doing, how to make things better, how to improve your health, especially as it relates to like cholesterol, blood sugar. I do feel something related to the bloodstream or the bloodline, okay? And I do sense that it's more of a professional giving you some type of consultation, giving you some type of advice in order to help some aspect of your life that you've been struggling with. On the other hand, when they mention, blood-related things, I feel like for some of you, this could be a blood relative of yours, okay? So it's coming in as a female energy for many of you. So Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, female, somebody who is a little bit very intelligent, extremely thorough, extremely intelligent, very reliable. And I feel like they might help you to finish some paperwork. They might help you with some type of, investment opportunities, advice on how to invest your money properly. And if they are a blood relative of your, cousins, aunts, maternal figure even, or even daughters, what I feel is you might not have seen this person or spent a significant amount of time with this person, there is something coming through in order to bridge the distance between the two of you, okay? So I feel like if there has been a separation in the past, they are coming through in a harmonious manner in order to reconcile with you or to bridge the distance with you. So I feel that a lot of you might come into contact with this person, this air sign, and they are giving you some solid, valuable advice. What is coming through as well is we do have the Fool and the Ace of Cups. Now, the Ace of Cups indicates to me a brand new opportunity that is on the table for you. And I do feel this is something that is preordained. It is coming into your life for a specific reason. And it is an opportunity that you should grab when it comes into the picture, when it makes itself known. The Ace of Cups usually indicates a new type of an emotional venture. When I see this card, I usually think about, like having a crush on somebody and then feeling the butterflies in your stomach. Traveling to see another person that you are very emotionally invested in. It could be family. It could be a significant other as well. And I'm going to do your love reading in a little bit. But I feel like for a lot of you, you are bridging a distance between you and another person. I do see an element of a peace offering. I do see a lot of healing happening between you and another person that you might have been estranged from. And I do feel that there is a catalyst, like another person involved in the picture that's like playing middleman, playing mediator, providing some deep spiritual insights or some just, personality insights that's helpful for you in order to understand your motives, in order to understand where the other person is coming from. But either way, I feel that, two people, if you've been feuding with another party, two people are coming together and there is some type of like communication breakthrough and some type of a peace offering. I feel like, both sides waving the white flag, meaning that, they're ending the stalemate, they're ending the conflict, and they are trying to re-engage with one another in a more high-minded manner in order to resolve conflict, or at least, let bygones be bygones, agree to disagree, so that both sides can move forward with each other. So I feel a lot of cooperation are coming through, especially if you have been estranged from another person that is very significant to you. And I do see for a lot of you, it is family members, okay? The last cluster that we are dealing with here is the Princess of Wands and the Strength card. Both of these things indicate to me very, very enhanced and increased metabolism. A lot of you are in a situation where you are doing a lot more physical activities in order to burn weight, in order to get yourself into shape, or at least, you are careful, more careful about your health. So you are, I see some rearranging, some portion control, dietary supplements as well. The Strength card indicates like physical strength, emotional strength. And when it's coupled with the Princess of Wands, this is kind of like sitting down, writing down your caloric intake for the day, or having like some type of an exercise regimen that you are sticking by. And for some of you, you might be seeing a physical trainer even, in order to get yourself in shape. And a lot of you might have an idea, in terms of like the ideal shape that you want to be in, and you're working with another person in order to reach your goals, okay? So I'm glad, for those of you who are doing this, I'm glad that you are, mainly because I feel like, it is birthday time when we are very enthusiastic and we have that solar return where the sun is in your constellation, which is going to give you a very, very good boost when it comes to staying on track, staying disciplined, and, having a goal and sticking to it. Okay. So this is a very beautiful supported energy. And I do feel a lot of you are at a point where you are taking your health very, very, very seriously. For others of you, I feel like there might be communication coming through from either, some type of a hospital institution regarding some type of, results for health related blood tests, for health related, like something that was held up in the past. You're getting some type of clear indicator, what's wrong. You're getting some prognosis or some diagnoses that make sense to you, so that you know how to proceed forward. I do see a lot of like taking care of yourself, self maintenance, and getting your metabolism up for a lot of you happening in this spread. Now, what's coming through in terms of your spiritual advice? I do have the star, and the star is a massive, massive healing card. Once again, the health situation, there is some type of resolution. You are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And if you have been dealing with some type of either like cardiovascular health issues, or even joints, or even like things that might have really restricted your movement, I do feel a lot of you are taking better care of yourself. You're moving you're like consulting somebody with some type of dietary supplements, dietary needs, and doing some portion control and doing some stringent exercises as well, in order to get yourself to a point where you are feeling very, very comfortable with your body. If in the past you have not been feeling, like you might have dealt with some body issues, gaining a little bit of weight, losing a little bit of weight, or not feeling like, completely comfortable or confident with the way that you look, I definitely feel some major transformations happening, and it's all a result of hard work. And I feel that, you're going to really enjoy the results that you're seeing for this month. The star card links up here with the Four of Wands, so I do feel a lot of reconciliation within the family unit. A lot of people coming together. It could be the holiday season, or it could just be because there is like, it's also your birthday time. So there's a lot more of peace offering coming through from other people. There's also like an air of like, I feel people are being a lot more courteous, a lot more self-aware of what they're bringing to the table. And I do sense a lot of people coming together and peace offerings being had. Okay. You do have some very, very strong divine protection here. So if you were wondering whether or not you're in the right, you've been going the right way, or if you're in the right, if you're headed in the right direction, I would say this. I feel like a lot of you, there might be a new renewed sense of like loving your life. You're not stressed out anymore. I feel like a very elevated, uplifted type of energy. It indicates to me you're walking towards on the right path. For those of you who are still dealing with struggling relationships, it's important for you to like look the other way, because I feel like you have so much potential and opportunities that are trying to come through for you here with the Emperor. This is divine protection, and this is kind of like steering you, they're gently nudging you in the right direction. And he's got a globe on his hand, so he's basically telling you in the future you have a lot of new opportunities that are made available to you, and it's important for you not to like cling on so tightly to the way that you think, one way of doing, and like being a little bit too tunnel vision, because you're missing out on other opportunities that might even be better for you. So don't cling on to struggling relationships. You have a very powerful aura coming through with this reading, as well as with that solar return. And you are, a lot of you are having that Saturn transit Sagittarius right now, and you're still either like dealing with the beginning of it or the middle of it. It's not over yet, but they're pretty much telling you that, karmic relationships during a Saturn transit, you will either run into karmic people that are preordained or that are karmically fated to meet you, or those karmic relationships that have been troublesome and straggling along. Those are supposed to, be laid to rest for good. Okay. So you have some very strong spiritual insights here to let you know that you're on the right track, especially if you are venturing out, doing new things, taking better care of your health, and especially, signing contracts, letting things end. I also feel a lot of discussions being had about new places of living. There might be people moving in, people moving out. You're thinking about relocating as well. And there's also trips, travel in order to reunite with some type of a family. I do see an ancestral home. So, for example, if your father, your mother, or, grandparents and things like that from the maternal or paternal side of the family, if they have some property, I feel like some of you might be returning or might be thinking about returning to take care of the ancestral property, or even trying to decide whether to sell it, whether to rent it out, or whether you will inhabit the house. Okay, so there's a lot of discussions about generational wealth, about generational assets. So like ancestral home, the home you grew up in, the home that your parents, your ancestors might own. It could even pertain to a plot of land. So I do feel a lot of you are thinking about what to do. I feel like for some of you, you are doing some massive redecorating of your home. And I feel like it's not just for the holiday seasons. It might be actually long term. And I feel like you want to be a little bit careful, because I feel like you're going over budget. Like you're spending very extravagantly. You're in a good state. You're feeling very positive. You want to declutter your environment, get rid of everything, and then remodel, redecorate. And I feel that you want to be very clear about staying in budget. And especially, if you're dealing with contractors, just be careful that, you're not being like too naive. Like they might tell you, they might recommend the most expensive thing, or they might recommend like the most labor intensive long-term project. And I feel that, at the time it sounds good, but the project, the renovation might, drag on for months and months and months, and you're dealing with very, very expensive. I feel like a lot of shiny marble, like, I'm seeing like very expensive remodeling projects, and at the time it seems good, but I feel like, come January, February, when the contractors are still in your space, you might feel like this is not what I signed up for, and you might like want to abandon the project halfway. Just be very careful. Going for the minimalist look is going to be in your favor for this, especially this month. So don't go overboard when it comes to like, remodeling, renovations and things like that, or even excavations. Don't spend all of your money, because I feel that, you want to be a little bit more extravagant this month. And it's not the most practical choice to, the most practical route to take when these are like cosmetic changes. Okay. So just be careful about that.